Good evening, and welcome to the Heikadelic Show. We would like to take this moment.
Hey, this is Spiffy Vengeance, and I'm reporting for the Heikadelic Show. In behind me, you can see the War of
How did you like that? I was trying to do like a little rap with it all.
A little montage of it.
Yeah,
That was like, woohoo!
Oh, that's what I do when I board. Whoa, hey Deborah, look at that. She's already there. Holy, we got messages already.
Yeah, Deborah's number
Yeah,
one.
throw them up. Throw them up.
Deborah,
look at
how
that.
are you? We missed you. We haven't heard from you for a while.
For a moment there, the way the show started, I thought we are going to have technical difficulties
I
again.
know.
No, that's just me. I am a technical difficulty.
Awesome.
Just kind of
Oh, man. Well, welcome back, everybody. Hi, Kathy. You made it on early today. I love it.
Okay. Kathy's second. And you know what second place is? Second place is first place for losing.
Yeah.
Kathy
You're so mean.
Well, at least you're still first for something, right?
Kathy is not a loser, though. She's definitely first place.
Is that a different Deborah, or is that the same Deborah as the first one?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Deborah.
that's the only Deborah.
Gotcha.
Oh, Deborah Lockwood is definitely a different.
Oh, no,
Deborah
there's two.
and
See, I
Deborah.
told you. I
It's either,
told
yeah.
you.
Good eye.
See, I am paying attention.
You are.
Good
Uh-huh.
eye.
So first thing I got to do, folks, is if you're listening and watching this week and you were last week, we had some technical difficulties last week. And we only had I think it was a 38-minute show. So the producers screwed up last week, so we fired all them. We got all new staff. Everything's good to go. No more issues.
Well, I thought we recovered very well. You want to know something? A few people. We ended up having like 5 or 6 people who watched us on the phone. So
Yeah, because what we did after we got disconnected, we went live on Facebook with our phones, and we had people join us there, and we actually did a full 2-hour show.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah.
But hey,
It was all good.
yes,
see?
that's what I'm talking about. This is the Deborah. This is. I'm sorry, I can't pick favorites, but you are my favorite Deb.
Michael, are you sure that
I haven't even met the other Deborah yet. I have to meet her one day too, but right now I'm sorry, Deborah Lockwood is my favorite.
All right, but we have 2 Deborahs.
But I don't think we ever got rid of that producer.
Hi there, my name's Mr. Wiggleton, and I'm actually the producer and janitor here at the Heikadelic Show. But anyhow, I think it's good, but it really it's pretty late show, so I don't even watch it myself. So I have no.
Yeah, he's gone. He's out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So George actually was having technical difficulties, Deborah. So
I know, and I need George right now.
We're waiting for his backside.
We need George. No, we need him to play a tune.
Oh,
so we can open this.
Wait a second, guys. Tra la 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 la. Tra la 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 la. Tra la 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 la. Tra la 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 la.
Cheers, everybody.
2 banana, 3 banana, 4. All right. Wah, wah.
Well, and that's where it all comes to play. Now I understand the abbreviation after your name. Can you put the names back up?
Yeah. Put the names back up. Oh yeah. Hey. So
Yeah,
today,
look at that. Today, I'm Duringo.
Do you get that? Do you see it, During? Do you see that? Check that out, Ringo. Here,
And-
let me
and you
look
see
myself up big.
You see
Hey,
what
Deborah,
VOAD
Just because
is?
you asked for it, Deborah.
Look, VOAD. You see that there? You know what that is?
Wait. See this? Yeah. Look at that. Let's see who can figure out.
Sing
Heiko
again.
knows what it is. Let's see who can figure it out.
Come on, what's
George, we weren't sure if you're going to
VOAD?
make it, so we got a new game. It's called Figure Out What Derek's name is. What
Duringo.
Derek's acronym is.
Yeah, figure it out.
Duringo.
Because we didn't have you here a second ago, so he actually sang "Tra la 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 la" for everybody, and we had.
I know. I've actually started already, but anyway, just in case.
Just in case.
Make it official. Don't want any bootlegs. There you go.
Well, everybody, should I give a hint, Heiko, or
Well, I would just say
it's a play on names. How about that? A play on
Yeah.
a play on somebody else.
there you go.
All right.
Okay.
Someone on the show.
Someone on the show. Yeah, someone else.
Okay, gotcha.
Someone else on the show. It's a play on the name.
Any ideas,
if
Ringo?
anybody can figure it out. What does VOAD stand for?
Voice of a.
You got any guesses there, Ringo? Come on. You gotta have
Victims of a deity.
what?
Victims of a deity.
Victims of a deity.
Well, that's close. Not really. George was close. What did you say, George?
Voice of a.
Angel.
Well, angel starts with A.
Voice of an angel. What's the D for? Derek?
No, it's voice of an.
Oh, there's only one A, right?
Well, actually, to be correct, it's not an, it's a.
Oh.
Voice of
Because it's a D, it's a consonant, it's not a vowel, so it's solid, right?
Yeah, so it's VOA. We got that guess, George. Just got to know what the last word is now.
What does the D stand for? And I just demonstrated it not too
Yes.
long ago.
Yes. When we didn't have the true tra-la-la,
That's right.
Derek-
Yeah.
Derek
So
did it for us.
1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4. You'll get it.
So right there, it just happened
Okay,
again.
so Kathy thinks voice of a devil. No.
I was going to say that.
Robert's trying to say voice of a dick.
Wow. Nice job,
I
Bobby.
know. Hey, nice people. Nice here.
Think we should tell them?
All right. So, anyways, it stands for voice of a drummer.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
Now
not
we got
like
all
Dave
that
Grohl.
figured out.
So we got anything left for this show? I don't think so.
So, George,
Yeah.
seeing that I was looking up some stupid information stuff, like little things like whales can get sunburns. Sperm whale has the largest brain in the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. A curvier beaked whale is the world's deepest diver.
Mhm.
Wow.
I'm just giving you the captions. I'm not reading what they.
So
actually
what
So did
made
you
you
know
go
how,
on to whales?
A sperm whale.
Whales? I don't know because okay, so we were having some technical difficulties before the show started tonight, and
Yes.
we were just preparing, and I was thinking of stuff. If I just have to go on with Heiko, besides us fighting about our political beliefs and stuff
Yes.
like that, what else are we going to talk about? So I figured one thing I would look up would be stupid facts about whales. So
Look at
like, when we were talking backstage or like in the green room, right? I put it on mute and I'm like, "Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?" And he's like, "No." So I like Google it, right?
Right. Well, tell you what, how do you circumcise a whale?
Oh, I don't know. With a tight seal or something? No, wait, no, that's
No.
wow. Yeah,
This is
you
like
went
last week where we were scraping the bottom of the barrel with jokes, right?
Uh-huh.
So how do you circumcise a whale? Any ideas?
Oh my god.
no.
You send 4 skin divers down.
There we
All
go.
right. George, I think we're gonna have to put you in the green room now for a little while. We're gonna have to let you
We're
cool
going to
down
have
for a bit.
technical difficulties.
Yes.
Hey,
Hey, Keisha had a good guess. Voice of a drunk.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
do I have my mic on? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So
Yeah,
all
we
right.
can hear you.
So Deborah is saying, was just talking about Lee Aaron doing a free concert, and it's interesting. I talked to Lee Aaron's whatever she is, handler,
Yeah.
booker, and she won't come on our show because it says comedy. So, but I do like Lee, and
That's too bad.
thought we
'Cause
had a better relationship than that, but
she doesn't know what our show's about then.
no, but she knows Ringo, right? So it's like, well, hey,
Well,
what are you
you
doing?
should call her back again and said our show is not a comedy show. It's a talk show, and it's about everything. And yeah, sometimes we laugh. Sometimes we argue.
laugh, sometimes we cry, sometimes
Yeah, and we do a lot of stuff about music. We promote
Yeah,
bands.
absolutely.
Like
Are
we
you
do
kidding?
all that shit.
We're
Come
we're
on.
half, we're 3/4 music. I mean, you
Yeah.
play bass, so we're 100%, 95% music, right?
Mhm.
So,
Well,
Damn right.
just so if you were speaking about music, Deborah Lockwood, they are the ones who are doing Bannock Shack, and they just put out their list of bands and everything who's on. Maybe Deborah, we should talk to you or Neil or maybe Joe, and we'll talk about the Bannock Shack one day and give you guys a few minutes to promote yourself there.
right. Bannock being Bannock bread.
Yeah, like a bread, like a meeting place, right?
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It's called the Bannock Shack Music Festival.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm a little offended that you don't see MCM on that bill, but you know.
Well, why have you talked to them?
No,
If you haven't talked to them, then you can't even complain because
no, I know.
all you have to do is talk to Mel or Deb, and Mel and Joe, or Melanie, who's usually the first one on, or was for quite a while.
Yes.
Her and Joe are running it now, so that's who you would talk to.
Nice.
Can you put a smaller message up? I can't see your chin.
I'll have my people talk to them. But so Bobby's on. Bobby had Bobby's stock on the weekend, which I was actually pretty close to where it was at, and which is Peterborough area, I think. But
Hi, Junior.
It looked like it was pretty cool because Social Strife was on one of the bands, and wow, comments just flying in here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look at it. People actually listen and watch our show.
Sometimes, yeah. So hey, I have something for you. Hang on a second.
Yeah. All right. What do you got, bud?
We've got to intro this a little bit, though, I think.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Uh-oh. Well,
Good evening, everyone. In our quest to find out who are they, we've unraveled some clues. But not.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Have you been thinking about that lately? About who they are?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had actually a 5:00 meeting scheduled with somebody who is going to give me an update on their groups and what their group is saying about
the leaders.
I actually in a professional group too, anyway, it didn't happen because I had other things come up, but so we're going to pick that up possibly tomorrow or later in the week. But here's a couple of things. So George, I looked at our date, February. So there's an interesting thing happening with Saturn. Was it Saturn or Jupiter?
You mean your date in February or your date in August?
Sorry, August.
August.
Yes.
14th.
August,
Yeah.
August the 14th.
Yeah.
I must be still high from the Slipknot concert. But so 14th of August, there's Jupiter, actually.
Okay.
So there's a celestial event on the 14th, which is interesting because that's the date we've got earmarked for some kind of uprising of people under the earth. But So there is a couple.
I thought it was August 14th, or is that just something else is coming out August 14th?
No, August 14th is this event, right?
Oh, okay.
Like celestial event. So Jupiter is kind of has some funky alignment with the Earth. Then there's this other thing that seems to align with everything we've been talking about. A time traveler makes bizarre claims for 2022, and he's saying that he or she, I guess, is saying that there are 3 dates that are mentioned in his video: March 15th, June 22nd, and August 2nd. And this will be about alien civilization will be discovered on Earth. Right? So that, we would look for signs of that at the beginning of August.
Well, they've known this in the movies for years now. For decades, they've found shit at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, and if you go back to the release of all of the alien, the UFOs or UAP sightings. Which there were only 2 that were explainable. All the rest were unidentified. So,
what do you think's under the Sphinx?
What's that?
What do you think's under the Sphinx?
I don't know.
Sand.
The Sphinx is like
a lot of big
what we know so far, the oldest monument, man-made thing that we know of. Okay, so now Antarctica is it's depleting. It's getting smaller, right? It's the ice shield is going. So now people are like using Google Map. Anybody can do it. Google Earth, and you can go check out. And they're starting to come up with civilizations that they're finding underwater and stuff like that. There, this is okay. So if they're finding stuff under that ice,
right?
Obviously, we're gonna have to rewrite every history book that we have, right?
Yeah.
Darwin theory,
it's possible. I mean, so the other thing that I've been hearing, I'm on this VR community, and with the whole VR headset thing, but I was talking to a couple of people that believe that the devil in the month of May was supposed to come manifest somewhere.
Yeah.
And his reign will be short. It will be from May to September, end of September. And he'll be opening this portal or whatever up for demons and so on. So, but if you look at what's happening in the world today with, the Ukraine and like the war in Russia and all that, like it's amazing how conspiracy theorists can connect the dots on just about anything, but it is kind of fishy. There's a lot going on because, like, if you look at middle of August, the 14th, give or take, that would lend enough time to, if the war got worse, something intervening and saying, okay, this is enough. You guys are going to kill yourselves, right? But this idea of this other civilization surfacing, and I get two I guess sort of stories about that. It could be aliens, which probably ties back to this time travelers comment, and the other one is reptilians, right? Which I don't know. That would
they were
so from space or from the Earth, right?
From the evolution for us, is it not?
Something that, but again, if you take it back to, which I find still intriguing, and I keep forgetting the guy's name that was on here. And he was calling in from Mexico, and he was talking.
Jason Christoph.
Yes, thank you, George.
Yeah.
Jason was talking about how we are influenced by subliminal thoughts on the reptilian side of our brain, by an ancient humanoid force that is too weak to terrorize, but like one-on-one or face to face, but can send out these thought. What do we call it? Suggestive thought, right?
Yeah.
And
Subliminal.
And if everybody shut off their TV and their phone, then none of those messages would be getting out to us.
Yeah. Well,
that's interesting you mentioned that, because that is part of the noise that creates it, right? In fact, I was watching something with Elon Musk in it, and he was asked the question around AI about, hey, well, when do we get to the point where humans, have some kind of microchip, or we're kind of somehow part of that AI. And anyway, his response was, we already are, right?
Well, there is a theory, isn't there, about the dinosaurs,
right?
About the dinosaurs, if they hadn't all died out and they'd survived, like somewhere, not everyone was, it would have actually developed into a humanoid type reptile. That's what they would have become. So who's to say one or two didn't survive?
Especially with all the underground,
like somewhere like
Antarctica,
under the ice. Who knows what developed there, right? You just it's feasible.
It's feasible.
That brings me back to a question where Derek said earlier that Antarctica, the ice is melting. So if the ice is melting, does that mean the wall is slowly getting smaller? So eventually we'll be able to get outside and see if Earth is flat or not?
But one thing with that ice, and I hope so, hasn't really been there that long, because there's been expeditions that say that ice wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
From old
but see, it grows and shrinks. There's I don't even know if there's patterns, but the ice will grow for decades and then it'll start to shrink.
Spells, right?
I
don't really think we have, a big problem with hairspray. I think we have more of a problem of dropping hydrogen bombs for 30 years in deserts and on ice and in the atmosphere would have a little more, to do with it than a little bit of hairspray and
Let's see what this will do. Oh,
yeah.
How much more emissions do jets put off than cars, and how many thousands of jets are in the air every day? But
well, what the highest emitter of was it carbon dioxide is on the planet?
Humans?
No. Cows.
Oh, right. Methane. Methane gas.
Methane. That's what I meant. Methane. It's cattle.
But okay, and that's I hear that. I hear people say that. If cows are so bad, how was it when the dinosaurs were here?
Right? How many dinosaurs were here, though?
Well,
we didn't breed dinosaurs to
it's not
feed.
Going to be like 5 dinosaurs.
Well,
I understand.
Thousands of bones.
Yeah, we've messed with nature, and if you look at I don't know if you saw the Skinwalker Ranch series, but that was all about cow mutilation, right? So, whatever's happening, and I watched that series, and it was pretty impressive. And Bobby was just commenting about Oak Island, and have they found anything after 12 seasons? Yeah, I think part of that is just drama. But
it's a TV show. There's nothing there. It's just a bunch of hooey.
Well, it's
a show.
Little pieces of wood and nails and stuff like that. But
it's like blah 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 blah. It's like I can't even watch it. It's that dumb. But that's my opinion.
Well, and two, how much are they just milking it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a TV show, so they try to create drama.
If we have enough wind turbines, and face them all the same way,
go back in time.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, though. Okay, wind turbines, and I'm not sure, but I want to go check out the ones that are east of us here, or east of me, anyways. they put them all out by Ganaraska and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, they put a set up there on the hill. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to go out there and check because there's like a whack of them out there. I want in like 15 years. And
Yeah.
see
Have you seen them? Like up close? Have you
is left underneath them? Because
Yeah.
they were all put out in farm fields, basically.
Yep.
So I want to see if there's any vegetation left or if it's all dirt because the constant wind doesn't let anything grow. Just
maybe. My cousin used to work on those.
Yeah.
And they piece them together with helicopters, and he'd be up, you know, whatever.
Awesome structures, but you know,
they're kind of scary though. Like, I mean, I've ridden my motorcycle down by heading to Niagara Falls from the escarpment, and there's a whole bunch of them down there.
Yeah, you go down to Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, sure.
There's tons of Port Dover. There's tons of them down there.
Yeah,
but if you want to see one up close, there's one at the Pickering Hydro Plant. It's been there for decades.
Yeah,
and you can go right to the base of it.
Yeah, and half the time it's not even moving.
Right.
Well, they got the brakes on when the wind's too high, right? But
I just worked down there for a week, and didn't move the whole time I was there.
Really,
Kathy's
that's weird.
Saying we should get to the backside.
Yeah.
Oh, hey!
Wow.
There was one in Toronto, wasn't it? Down on the harbour there, but I don't know if it's
no.
still
She just doesn't like the one I ramble on about.
What, the one by the C&E there?
Yeah, around there. Yeah. There used to be one there. I don't know if it's still there.
But all the vegetation
down there altogether.
Yeah. I don't know.
George, you got an award or something recently for playing at what was it, swinger clubs?
It was a Toronto singles part. It was a documentary.
Oh, singles. Sorry.
Oh,
same thing.
I've got nothing to do with the swingers since the noughties. The noughties.
It's all books. It's the same. It's really the same, right? If you're single.
Well, not everyone's single though. You get couples coming as well.
Single for schwingle.
Yeah. But it was interesting because it was on the big screen. It was at the Ted Rogers theatre, the Hot Docs on Bloor, just at Bloor and Bathurst, and like it's just really good on the big screen.
Bobby, are you a swinger, bud?
I'm the king of the swingers.
I didn't mean to jump on you there, Ringo. We kind of clicked at the same time.
Oh, sorry. I will stay out of it. You are in control.
All right.
Actually, you are in control, and I'm gonna maximize my screen and just enjoy the show.
All right, you stay back.
Enjoy George's backside.
All right, it is.
Dun, 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 dun. Hey, drummer, where's the drum roll? Come on.
What you didn't fetch that far?
Okay, what part of the world is he from?
It's from the US of A.
Oh,
Bruce Springsteen.
Is it Bruce Springsteen?
No.
He's actually no, he's not.
Is that the actual person?
That is the actual person.
That's why he has yellow on his face.
Is it Billy Joel?
Is it Billy Joel? Ooh.
Oh, I can't see what's he got. Is that a guitar case in his hand? Wait a second. Now I see something.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So is he a solo guitarist?
No, he's not a solo guitarist, but this is a solo album.
Okay, so this is somebody's solo album who is in a band.
Yeah.
And is their band a big band?
They were, yeah.
Is it a country artist?
It's not a country artist, no. He's been solo for a long time, but he started off, he wasn't solo.
He started off, he wasn't solo. He's been solo for a long time. How long's a long time? Like, is this like, how old's the album? When's it released?
This album is from like 1981, I think, or 80, somewhere around there. But he started in the 60s, and he was touring up to certainly before COVID. He was still touring.
Still touring guitar. I'm trying to go by the hat and the pants and jacket. Yeah. And that's from 81, looking like that, and jeans.
Yeah.
So I want to think somebody from the Eagles.
From the Eagles. No, it's not somebody from the Eagles.
It's not somebody from the Eagles?
No, wrong coast.
Oh, okay. So it's somebody from the East Coast.
Somebody,
From the Beach Boys.
it's not Rick Springfield. Oh, the Beach Boys are for the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me hang on here.
Billy Joel was a pretty good guess, I think.
1981. Paul Simon.
Is it Paul Simon? What makes you think that?
No
Good
pecker in
guess.
his jeans.
Because he looks. Paul Simon is kind of a thin-looking dude, right?
Yeah, hang on if I can find it here.
Oh,
There it is.
it was Paul Simon. Yeah.
It's Paul
'Cause he used to
Simon.
wear this dorky.
Simon and Garfunkel. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Simon and
Wow.
One trick
New
pony.
York City boy. Yeah. And this is actually from a movie as well. If you want to see a real rock and roll movie, it's a brilliant movie. I mean, it's of its
One
time,
Trick
but
Pony.
it's about the clubs getting ripped off in the clubs, in the studio, everywhere. You name it, this band he's got. It's just a great little rock and roll movie of this
What's
band.
it called?
One Trick Pony.
The movie is called that?
Yeah, the movie's called.
Okay.
Now, did he remake that from another? Like, is that a remake, or did he write?
No, he wrote it. Yeah, he just wrote all these tracks. Late in the Evening is the single that came off it.
He
But
did
all
the
rest was-
score.
Yeah, he did the whole thing. Yeah, he wrote a whole bunch of tracks for it. But
I
it's
remember
just
one called off that album. I don't know. I might have it kicking around. Ace in the Hole or Ace something.
Hey,
Right.
Ringo, you get a bag of Richards this week, eh?
Do I? Oh.
Well, you
And
won.
one of our fans.
Did you just
Hey,
guess that, or
Ringo.
did you know it?
Ringo got one right, and he didn't guess. Blood
No,
Rock
I have
Texas.
that
You went
album.
straight in there.
I actually have that album, and I was thinking it was the hat that kind of set me off because
Right.
it was, and yeah, he was a pretty skinny dude, right?
Yeah.
So when you said, what's his name there? Oh God, Bruce Springsteen. I'm like, no, it's
That's
not.
pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
he's
you
got
haven't seen
that.
the movie though. You haven't seen the movie.
I always thought he was a bit Hispanic. I don't know what his background
No, he's Jewish.
is. He Jewish?
Yeah.
Well, that's not
That's close to Spanish.
sure.
Is it?
It's closer than we are to
Hey,
Spain.
speaking of,
But, yeah.
do you know what? Speaking of this, and I know we don't really talk about. I feel like I'm being profiled, and I'll tell you why.
Well, I can tell you why.
Yeah,
Because you are.
yeah.
Everything
We
you do
all
is being
are.
profiled.
We
So
all
there's
are.
this place I park, and if my car's left there too late, my truck only, I get a ticket. But when I bring my Beamer, I don't ever get a ticket.
I thought it was the
Wow.
other way around.
Wow.
No, I think people.
They ticket the working man and they keep the guy at the BMW. Oh, they want to just get on his good
They
side.
just think I'm some redneck hick from Sudbury.
Yeah. They see the truck and they put a ticket on
They're
it.
not wrong about any of that, but yeah.
I'm just a good old country boy.
I'm a
you heard.
country boy.
Hey, one of our fans earlier mentioned the Mickeys. I gotta check that out.
Yeah,
They
the
said
Mickey's
check it out.
great.
Mickey's the band?
Bobby was
Yeah.
talking about that.
Bobby seems to be
I think-
pushing
think it
quite
was
a bit
Bobby.
lately. I checked them
Yeah.
out a little bit. I haven't seen them live. I've seen some stuff. I did watch the live feed. They're playing on a trailer outside
I
of a
think-
bar and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
had him over at
looks like they're pushing themselves pretty good.
Bobby Stock, right? So
Yeah, Bobby Stock was this weekend. I
actually,
think,
you know
wasn't
what? Kathy's guess here, Brick Springfield, is probably that was kind of my first choice.
Right.
And then it was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
it?
Ringo
Well
got
done,
it.
Ringo.
Yeah, Ringo gets one. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, he gets the bag of Richards.
yeah. Well, get them all in red, please.
Keep them in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Well, how was everybody's week anyways? We just totally messed up the show. Everything was all messed up right from
Well,
the guy playing the
we
beginning.
started out with those technical difficulties, and it just messed
Yeah,
everybody
I
right up.
know. People actually thought we were having technical difficulties, and it was me
I
just
didn't see it as a
playing.
technical difficulty. It looked pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd like to tell you that you shouldn't listen to anything. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, don't
But
say
it's
this.
funny. I wish I could show you pictures on the phone, but I'm using the phone to do the show. I was just over at the father-in-law's place. He sold the farm, and he's had that farm in his family for 5 generations.
Whoa.
So it's an old place.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff there, and it's
I like old stuff.
71 acres or something. So you know what they do in the country, they get the vehicle or the tractor or the truck or whatever, and they go, just put it over there in the bush, and then it gets forgotten. So now they sold the property, so we got to go clean up.
Oh.
So they're having a big giant auction this Saturday on the property. So we started going through the bush, and we're finding shit. And we just pulled out a 1950 Ford mail truck.
Yeah.
You should see this
Right
thing.
on.
It still has the hoops inside, where the bags of mail went, and
Yeah.
it's got a plywood floor. And it's rotted out on the bottom all the way around, but it has every last bit of chrome original on this truck.
Wow.
And
Nice.
and it's a Ford F47, which is what they had before they came out with the F100s.
Yeah.
I took tons of pictures of it. This is so freaking cool. But yeah, finding tractors, like you couldn't even see them.
Right.
And the one tractor, we pulled it out, and it had a freaking sod remover built onto the side of it.
So can we
Snow-
get,
Yeah,
snow build-
can we
Yeah.
get like a preview of it if we went up early, or?
Just go to the house. You can walk the whole property. Everything's all set up all over the place. That's what we've been doing for like a week.
Well,
important.
normally farms get handed down, don't they? So, like, why sell it? Usually,
Well, it's been handed down, and
Nobody wants to farm anymore.
Hmm.
they just want some new stuff, right? And instead of ripping down all the old stuff and starting over, they're just going to start over, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I'd love to get that's the kind of acreage in a farm. I mean, I don't have a problem with getting something that's like needs to be updated.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
so it's already sold then, right?
yeah, it's sold.
Yeah.
And it had 2 road accesses too, right?
So,
One on 48 and one on Durham 23. So
well,
it's
within
valuable land.
Within the next
This
week,
truck is a pretty sweet ass truck, eh?
yeah.
I'm trying to look for a mail truck. I can't find one of this.
It's a 1950 Ford F47 van. That's what it is. You look that up, you should see it.
Okay.
And there's some really, really cool features in it. Like the grill and everything is still there. So you have the bars in the grill, and then the headlights on the
that thing
outside.
is sexy as hell. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is like my kind of truck, eh? Like if I
Nice.
wanted to get a hot rod, this is like
Yeah.
what I would like for a hot rod.
You see the
So-
picture? Is it there?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Well, that's awesome.
That's it. That's it right
Wow.
there.
Bonnie and Clyde truck.
Yeah.
That is the baby right there.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
We pulled
Look at
that out of
that
the
Imagine
bush.
that lowered, some nice big
Yeah.
fucking fat rims on it. Oh, that thing would be so sexy.
Well, come to the auction on Saturday. You could buy it.
So it doesn't
Yeah,
run,
so
though.
I would buy it and put it in my field and let it rot.
And
Yes.
rot more, and then you can have an auction down the road.
Dude, I have a cottage now. I can't afford anything.
And
Yeah.
it's funny, the engine in it is a flathead V8.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Did you get it running?
unbelievable.
inline
Get it
eight.
running?
No, it's not in line. It's both sides.
just-
It's
okay.
a V8, but it's a flathead.
Did
then
you
it
get
has
it
the
running at all?
No, it has the intake on it with the carburetor way up high. It's just so cool.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that was like finding treasures.
It would be, man. I would love that. Even like we go for walks out back here, and obviously it was an old farm at one time, right?
Yeah.
And there's an old, like just the old scrap pile,
Yeah.
right, where they threw all the old oil cans and fencing and just whatever parts of tractors broken is just all thrown in the middle of the forest, right?
Yeah.
Same as you were saying.
We also we dug
all through bottles and
2 sawmills. Sawmills. We dug them out of the bush too and brought them out. Like so much cool shit.
So you just got to hook a motor up to the right, just big.
Well, and all the wooden parts are rotted, so you have to make a new frame out of wood, but all the metal's still there.
Yep.
So
yeah. So
Very
if you know
cool.
what you're doing with wood, you're good.
Yeah.
And you can make anything
4x4s. Yeah, you got it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. So how was Slipknot there, Mr. Ringo?
It was exceptional. It was really good. Actually the guy I went with was or brought along was Tyler Chambers from Chasing Shadows. We've had him on the show. Amazing drummer. Anyway, we did it upright. We went and did the VIP thing on the dock. It was awesome because we just, we didn't have to wait in line for anything. And we had great seats. And
right on.
The show is just amazing. So they had that hip hop band,
Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill, yeah, Insane in the Membrane. But it was really, it was really good to the point where I got thinking there. I got thinking about this, and I don't know if I think it'd be a great idea for your band if you let me become a DJ within your band. And
you're kind of looking a little bit like Sid right now, eh? You got the flat brim and the dark glasses. You're looking like Sid. You can get there.
Wait a minute, hang on.
Did you? Speaking of Sid, did you see Hogue? Did you see Steve Hogue there?
No, I didn't.
He was back. He was side stage.
Was he really?
Yeah, him and Sid hung out for like freaking almost a month.
Nice. Yeah, they were great though. I thought that was Sid. So it was. I'm just thinking back. It was just incredible. Because they DJ'd. They just did nothing but DJ, and then the band finally came out. So it was almost like they had a first act, but somebody got COVID or something, so they couldn't finish the tour, so they couldn't come into Canada. And then so they just extended the show a bit. So the DJ came up and just did his stuff, and it was outstanding. It was just amazing. And then of course Slipknot, what they do is Corey Taylor will have his mask changed up for every tour. This one here looks very creepy. I kind of like the throwback to the 2012 or 2013 mask, but it was more of like a Phantom of the Opera type mask, like a half face thing. But that was cool, and their stage show was absolutely nuts. Or their production, right? So pyro and really cool lighting and everything else. So I'm very impressed. They sort of won up, and then Corey came out and said, "Hey, you know what? We've got new Slipknot songs coming out shortly, right? So I guess they got an album in the works. So
cool.
Yeah, very cool. I honestly, I was going to pass on it. And what motivated me was my daughter and her boyfriend had tickets. And so I got this text saying, we're going to the Slipknot concert, and something to the effect of, "Yeah, we're not getting you tickets, and because you owe me money," or something like that.
Really?
And, yeah. I think I owed her like $300 or something like that. So I've been trying to dodge it. But anyway, she's like, so I'm like, oh yeah, trying to one up your dad. So I went online and I paid probably too much money for these tickets, but and I didn't have anybody in mind initially except my buddy Bob Bulldog. He's been on here a few times, and anyway, so he couldn't make it. He's got a bad shoulder as well, and so his son Ty. I said, hey, that'd be great, so he suggested him, and yeah, it was awesome time. I couldn't. It's nice to be back watching big name acts. I can't wait to see. I think we were booked at Motley Crue and a couple other things going on, but yeah, it's super.
Is that the Def Leppard and Joan Jett?
Yeah, Joan Jett and Motley Crue.
And Def Leppard and Poison.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joan Jett.
Are you going to that?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was thinking again.
I'm going to the one in New York, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I find the American shows are a different experience than Canadians.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
In what way?
Lots more boobies and beer.
Yeah, there's a lot of tailgating going on, which I guess we frown on here, but yeah, it's a different experience.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, well, we just went down just before COVID. We went down south. We watched a concert down there, and it's just like I'm saying. I'm not saying we don't have boobies and beer here too, but there it's just nobody cares. It's just everywhere. And when the concert was over, everybody's hooting and hollering and partying. And we actually piled in the back of a pickup truck with lawn chairs and beer and went right by the cops. They waved us on, like, go, get home. And it's not like here. Here they would lose their shit and they'd pull their guns out and tell you to dump your beer down the drain. Like it's very, very different when it comes to that.
Yeah, I find it a little more liberal there. And But the thing with it is like the rowdy crowds can get, because they're tailgating and everything else, it can get pretty crazy, right?
You're gonna get your fights and
I've been to a few and there was never an issue. There's police presence there, but they're not in your face, and there was a lot of hooting and hollering and laughing and shit, but I didn't see any fights or arguments or nothing.
Yeah, I've been to concerts all over the U.S. Actually, I was fortunate enough. Actually, when I did a lot of business travel, I would find concerts in the area and just go for the heck of it. Right, something to do. I saw Fish one time. If you guys,
I have Fish too. They're in the pond.
The only thing about a Fish concert is it's long. It's long, and they have these, like, Derek would love it. They have these endless jams, right? Like the 20-30 minute songs. But
the drummers really love them.
Yeah, so their arms fall off.
You have to be super high, I think, to watch Fish to get the benefit.
Yeah. Oh, it helps for sure. But talking of fights at concerts, I did get into a bit of a scuffle at an ABBA concert back in 1979.
At an ABBA concert? Come on.
I know.
ABBA fans don't fight.
I'm from Manchester, you know what I mean? So, we have a bit of a reputation, but it wasn't my...
they're a little crazy over there, They fight at soccer games too, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's all part of the thing, right? To a degree, That's, but ABBA got into it with somebody in front of me, yeah. Back in 79.
So
wow,
I wouldn't do it now.
I don't want to.
I avoid fights. I get them to follow me outside, and I let them go first.
Well,
I shut the door.
So Ringo's not really in the fighting. I mean, honestly, being a redneck from Sudbury, that was part of our MO, right? Like you go to a bar and it's always going to end up in a bar fight. So you had to learn.
Who's fighting tonight, George?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
like
right.
when we were young kids, in our early teens, and we would just like close friends. I mean, we would fight all the time, and it was just kind of a little bit of a rite of passage, and because you always had to watch for somebody sucker.
That's why they call it your local kick and punch, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember I was in cadets, and we were doing what was called a tag day. So it's where you sell tags and poppies and whatever. Anyway, we were coming back from this thing on a Sunday, and do you remember what the heck was it? It was a show called with a gang in it called Warriors.
That's a movie,
Warriors, come on,
exactly. So that thing was popular, and I think I was a teenager, so I'm doing this poppy thing. But when that came out, after that, there were gangs everywhere. Gangs that didn't want to rob you; they just wanted to beat the shit out of everybody, right?
Yeah.
So it's very brutal for a while.
Yeah.
What was that movie called?
It's called The Warriors.
The Warriors, right?
Yeah.
So what happened was a gang would literally borrow some parent's car. Yeah, exactly, Bobby. Sudbury Saturday night, for sure.
Yeah, should write a song about that.
While the women are playing bingo. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so they would get in a car, they'd steal their mom's car, or dad's car, and they would stuff a gang in there. And they would drive off to another town and meet another gang, and they'd fight and get all bloodied up, and then they'd come back home. But then they started getting into actually building these crazy weapons, right? Like nunchucks and all this stuff. And it got pretty brutal. So we're coming back from this tag day thing, and I think there were 4 of us. Everything was cool. On Sunday, everything was closed up. So we were walking through this mall parking lot, and I noticed something suspicious. There were these guys on bicycles, and they were kind of positioned around the parking lot, but like by themselves. And then they start creeping closer, and I'm thinking, oh, this is not gonna end well. And sure enough, it was a gang. So one of the guys in our group ran to this little gas station, and they locked the door. And my buddy Ivan and I kind of faced the gang. So it was an interesting thing. And he was a pretty big dude at the time. And I was no slouch myself. So yeah, we made it through that, but it was actually a little terrifying, you know. You had to watch it everywhere. So definitely toughened us up as kids. And
that's when you learn who's in the group.
In our school.
Yeah, you watch each other's back.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Like I always say, a gang is a sign of weakness. Because
as individuals, yes,
exactly. So in school, whether it was in school or wherever, or out in the streets, I don't like bullies. All right, and you know the age-old thing. You can try and talk your way out of a bully situation, but unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. So, you know, my dad raised me pretty good. I suppose if you're dealing with a bully, then, you know.
Hi, Richard.
Hey, Richard.
Hey, Rich. But anyway, it was Sudbury was a crazy place to grow up in. I don't regret any of it, because
Sudbury's always been a mining town, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know, it's got other things going on, but yeah, it's still.
But it didn't. What did it have going on when you were a kid?
Mining.
Did you have a drive-in?
Yeah, we had a drive-in.
Yeah,
I could tell you stories about the drive-in.
I had like 2 small drive-ins around us, so yeah, I understand the stories.
Yeah, but Yeah, it's funny because, like, again, like kids today, you know, things like basic life skills, and I don't want to appear like I advocate fighting, but you have to. I think you have to defend yourself, right? Can't always
My
go
son,
right. Can't always
my
go right.
son now is in that age, right? Where
Yeah,
they're starting to flex and make fun and stuff, right?
yeah.
And I've already my son knows how to kick, he knows how to punch.
Yeah, I
Like,
was going to say, put your kids into martial arts. I did
Mm-hmm.
training myself and
yep.
Yeah.
love it. I know I've got some friends who put their kids into it, and it's it's about defense. It's not going out looking for a fight.
No.
I've
Right.
never gone looking for a fight, but I
Yeah.
can sure end one, right? So,
Well,
Yeah.
or
I've,
could
I've
I
had
had
a
to do
I've had a
I had
few
to do
fights
that
in my day.
with my girls. I had to do the same thing.
yeah,
You know, they go to school, and they're
Girls are
not
vicious. They're vicious in a
yeah.
different way.
Yeah, they're not the tough big mouth type. They were good kids, and then you have the girl bullies, right?
yeah. Do you
Doing
know
shit.
what?
So
A fair fight to me is like, yeah, okay, you get a bloody nose or whatever, right?
yep,
uh, anything else like weapons or dirty fighting or whatever, that's
yeah.
not cool. But I
Anytime,
think
yeah,
from a bully standpoint, I think the most terrorizing thing is the internet. And if you
Oh,
look at how kids will put their shit up on different social medias, and or people will take pictures and post them and just terrorize, right? That
well,
cyberbullying is a lot more.
okay, there's that side of it too, but there's also the side of it that a lot of people don't see either. Is, say your daughter sends pictures to a boy,
Yeah,
and that boy shows his friends, right?
yeah,
yeah,
And somebody says, "Oh, I've seen pictures of your daughter."
yeah,
If your daughter gets charged with um, tra- sharing child porn.
oh,
And if your
wow,
son, who's over here, shows it, now can get a charge of show anybody he showed it to is, again, what I can't, I'm using the wrong term, but
yeah,
having
yeah,
and possession and
and distributing,
sharing and distributing
yeah.
sharing,
child porn.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's pretty messed up, and there's a lot of risk in doing that, and
yeah.
don't ever share naked photos to anybody. But so Bobby's
I share
talking
them all the
about,
time. Just ask.
yeah, Bobby's saying they reference Sudbury and a lot of Shorzy, and Shorzy is actually the knockoff from
From Letterkenny.
Letterkenny, and
Yeah,
and so Bobby, that Letterkenny's backdrop set town and everything was where I grew up. In fact, I keep talking about there's this episode early on. I think it's in the second, maybe third, where they show this bar called the Star Tavern, and
uh-huh,
the Star Tavern was actually in my hometown.
right.
That was the first bar that I ever played in as a musician,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very cool. I got up and jammed with a band. I had never played in a real serious band, but
Yeah,
I remember playing. I think it was Hot Blooded from Foreigner, and
right.
then a week later, I get a phone call. One of their guitarists left, and they said, "Hey, you want to join the band?" And I never really looked back because that band, I mean, was a lot of fun, and we used to do a lot of really cool shows. Um, uh, Doug from Pine Tree Line. Um, Doug, Doug and I spent a few crazy nights at the Star Tavern, but I was sad. Now it's a parking lot until they do some kind of a development on it. But I was sad to see that one go.
Yeah. I think that whole Shorzy thing is pretty brilliant because anybody that watches Letterkenny, there's a character in the show called Shorzy, but you never get, yeah, like, nice comment.
Yeah,
You never
Bobby.
get to see his face ever through all the seasons. You just hear his voice, and you see his back or his feet or something. And
Oh, he's
he's
like
been
Wilson.
he's been this mystery character. Well,
Yeah,
it's Kiso. It's his voice,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
again, they hide it through the whole thing. So it's neat now that they made a spin-off all about Shorzy. And Kiesel plays that character, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. You guys watch Letterkenny?
Oh, I love it. I've seen
Not
pretty
much.
every one.
Yeah. You got to watch it.
I'm not a TV show person. I'm more of a reality show or like documentaries.
Yeah, see, documentaries I'm cool with. Reality shows I can't do.
Yeah, so I like the challenge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Letterkenny's pretty witty, right? Like, I mean,
it's super witty. You got to pay attention.
You got to pay attention. And the way they deliver it is pretty interesting and unique.
Yeah.
But I loved watching it because, again, it's my hometown, home city I grew up in. And a lot of the places like National Hotel, all these places that I used to frequent once in a while.
Pitter patter.
Pitter patter, let's get at her. I mean, that there's so much authentic history in Letterkenny that relates to, Sudbury, just the entire vibe. I don't get the skids. I'm not sure what the skids are.
The skids used to be my friends when we were growing up. So we were like the potheads and the drug
it's kind of another group of people that you have in a town, right? They're trying to make all the different groups. You have the Aboriginals, like the local people. You have the skids. You have the hockey players.
So where the lead characters live, that farmhouse, I know exactly where it is. In fact, I used to jam down the road in a chicken, like a chicken house kind of thing. It was heated, and we had a whole rehearsal. We used to record in there, and it was super cool. But
hey, throw the last couple of comments back up. Just go through them. I missed the name.
It's Bobby. It's all Bobby.
No, there's somebody else. Bobby, I got.
Richard, Kathy, Bobby's. It's all Bobby.
Bobby.
Okay. Maybe it's just my eyes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bobby.
One of the things that that they were doing in I think the first or second series, maybe even later, they had how what's his name? The guy, he's like kind of the lead guy there, the tall guy who likes to fight.
Oh, that's his real name is Kiesel. What's his name in the show?
Yeah, Kiesel. Yeah.
Wayne.
Yeah. So Wayne held the title for the toughest guy, and when he was challenged, he had to. People would come up to him and fight him, right? Well,
they'd say, "Are you the toughest guy in Letterkenny?"
Right.
Yeah.
So
and then the arm would come up, and he'd undo his buttons, roll up his sleeves. Yeah.
So one of my best buddies, Layback Lenny, he actually, we were at the Colson Hotel one night, and it was after a Mike Tyson fight. This guy walks into the bar and picks the biggest guy in there, which is Len, and just walks right up to him, grabs him by the throat. And I thought they knew each other. And so Len's got a smile on his face, and now he's got his hand on the other guy's throat, and they're both smiling at each other. And I'm thinking, like, are these long lost buddies? But I didn't recognize the guy at all. So, but I'm telling you, man, this guy thought he was all jacked up in a, but man, we're like I said, we're Sudbury. We grew up in a different, like, if you got to bite a ear off, do it. Like, we're not going to hold back. So he had this guy under the pool table, and we used to wear cowboy boots with steel caps on them. And so it was a sad night for that guy. But like, so many fights, right? Saturday night, all the time. We were outside.
Who is that, Derek?
I think that's Ringo.
Yeah.
Is that you, Ringo?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, sure. With all the bling. Yeah. Blingo.
Well, you're with Slipknot.
Yeah. Why not?
You look very similar, doesn't he? Don't you think?
Yeah, same glasses, same hat.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it was the, what did they call it? The after party. Yeah, okay.
Are you sure you're not a DJ? Are you sure? Is your name Sid? Are you
No.
Sid Wilson?
Yeah. Watch,
DJ
I've got
Sid
Sid
Wilson?
Vicious on the back of my head.
No, DJ Sid Wilson.
Yeah, I know. He was amazing. It was just because I mean, like, I looked at the lineup and I'm like, what the heck is this about, right? But you know, Corey's good buddies with those guys, as well as
with
some of the other
with
guys. Right?
DJ Sid?
No, with
Slipknot?
No. Corey's a singer for Slipknot.
Yes.
come on.
Who's he good
spit it
friends
out.
with?
With the
Spit
drummer
it
guy.
out.
Oh, the guy you were hanging out with.
Not him. No. From
Derek?
no,
Joey, the old one?
the other band that opened up.
I don't even know who the other band was.
Insane in the Membrane.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's Cypress Hill.
Yeah.
I do know who the other band was.
I'm on too many pain meds. I can't remember shit.
Oops.
Yeah, it's gonna turn into craft pretty soon. Can't remember an effing thing, but so
It's Kraft.
yes, craft. But anyway, Bobby, to kind of wrap it up on Sudbury Saturday night, yeah, I love Letterkenny because of that. The Skids, I just don't get it, but yeah, there were potheads and stuff up there. Like I get, like they brought in the native gang, right?
Yep.
And Manitoulin. Well, actually, there's a lot of reserves up in that area.
Yeah, and they're the people they got the smokes from and all that stuff, right?
Not so much up there. Like, I mean, towards Sudbury, as you're driving there, there's a lot of reserves that, you know, have gas stations and stuff, which is cool. But up there, like Manitoulin Island, what was very popular is they'd actually have these bus rides from Manitoulin to Sudbury once a month, I think. And a lot of people from up there would, you know, they come out and party in Sudbury and like, we had the big thing to do, and it's, you know, Stomp and Tom said it best is, you know, the boys are, what was it? The boys talking about Inco while the girls are playing bingo or something. And the bingo.
Boys are getting stinko.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, the girls are playing
Boys
bingo.
are getting, yes. So
Right.
the boys are in the bars drinking and the girls are playing bingo. There you go.
Yeah. But they do say something about Inco, right? And Inco was the mining company.
Well, I don't know. Let me look up the lyrics.
Yeah.
There's our wealth of information, Derek. Dun, 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 dun.
Inco was sold to Vale, which is a company out of Brazil, I believe. So
Yeah, but you know what's funny with Letterkenny? I don't know the actress's name, but Mrs. McMurray. You know her?
Yeah.
I don't know her name, but she has her own TV show. Winona Earp. Yeah. And she's a spirit hunter. She's got this giant ass freaking revolver, and she goes and takes out ghosts and spirits.
Really?
And just before she shoots them, there's symbols engraved in the gun, and they light up. It's not a bad show. Yeah, I was surprised that an actress that had such a little part in Letterkenny wind up getting a big show like that. It's like her own show.
Yep.
It's on the Space Channel every single freaking day.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of neat.
Like
you were right. It's the girls are out to bingo and the boys are getting stinko, and we think there is no more of Inco on a Sudbury Saturday night.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So what?
It didn't say anything about Ringo?
Inco.
Oh, Ringo.
Yeah.
Ringo should be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
If you look hard enough, sure.
Hanging out with Ringo, like we do every Monday night.
Well,
cheers, buddy.
The thing we used to do out there.
Inco is a place in Sudbury.
So we do these things called pit parties, and because
gravel
around the
pits?
mining there was a lot of open pit stuff, but the pits would get full of rainwater, right?
Right.
And they treat the water so it wasn't horrible, but we go down to one of these pits, gravel pit, and then there'd be swimming and
Yeah.
do stupid shit because the cops would never go down there, right? So we
Right.
bring a lot of beers and
Yeah, we used to have the bush parties here. We called them.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had tons of bush parties, but we would burn tires instead of firewood. It was easier to get the fires down, which
they last longer.
And
so Ringo, Inco is the plant with that big smokestack.
Yeah, the big stack. Yeah, it's called the super stack.
Yeah.
And it used to be the world's largest structure. My grandfather worked on it.
Cool. Okay, so then the line, and we think no more of Inco or of Inco. So they're saying they're thinking no more of their working week because they're all getting drunk on a Sudbury Saturday night.
Gotcha.
There's your Inco. There's your connection and your meeting.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Everything was about Inco because Inco basically started.
Is that the melting plant?
They did
where you take all the core?
Smelting mostly.
Smelting, sorry, yes.
Yeah. And so they would extract from levels as far down as almost 10,000 feet underground. And
jeez.
Yeah. Well, I've been down underground. Yeah. So so Inco was everything up there. They had company housing. They had Copper Cliff was actually a base for the Clarabelle mine operation. So it became very populated. It's where their general engineering, building was. So all of that was done out of there. So I don't know. Thinking back on it, it was I definitely don't regret it. I don't. Sometimes when I left, my father had passed away, and I just thought, you know what, time to move on. And I found that the pace here was a lot faster. More money to make. I mean, start making about where I might have made 50 grand at one point. I came down here and I was making 150 easily.
Yeah.
And then never looked back. But it just I came down here in 95 for a year, and then I went back and I was bored. So ended up I bought a house up there and everything, and then I think in 2001 I came back to Toronto area. So but yeah, it was good. I don't regret it. I think as far as everything from being up that way, you learn a lot about being outdoors and survival skills and everything else. And I don't regret any of that.
No, there's no reason why you should regret it. It's the way you grew up.
Absolutely.
There's no regret there. There's just
you know how to cut a fish and gut it?
Yep.
I can. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Can you?
See, I never learned how to do that.
Oh, you should.
Really?
I kind of understand it, but I've never done it.
Oh.
Well, I can show you. Just invite me out to your cottage.
We'll just have to go fishing together.
We'll go in my pond. I have a
so
pond.
one of the things that a lot of people don't even know, like they're terrified of, are catfish, right? And catfish have the 3 barbs, and if you
they have the barbs. Yep,
they're real painful. But my dad and I, and speaking of Inco, and the other mining company was called Falconbridge, and that's where my dad worked actually. And
Falconbridge,
which is now called Glencore. So they were bought out as well.
Weird.
That's kind of German.
But when the mine would shut down, it would go on there were 2 reasons why it would shut down. One was if the nickel prices were too low, what they would do is if they had a nickel vein that they found, they would cement up the wall and they'd shut down until the nickel prices went back up.
Really?
Yep. So there was that, but then there were also strikes and all kinds of stuff there. But a shutdown could last 3 months, 6 months, or an entire year. So
Wow.
there wasn't unemployment like there is today. In fact, it was very difficult for a lot of families because they'd have a decent income and all of a sudden, wham, nothing. So my dad and we lived in a small community up by the Star Tavern, but we lived on the lake. And so my dad loved fishing, and so did I, actually. So we would go out every night during the summertime. I remember on this massive shutdown, we would go out and we would catch catfish, and not just like one or two catfish. We would bring back like 75 to 100 catfish in a night.
Wow.
And
were they like the bullhead catfish?
Yeah, they're pretty big. Like, I mean, they were like 3 to 5 pounds.
Yeah.
But not as big as a channel cat. But the barbs were a trick to
and if you get poked by those, it's stung for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I got poked, but then I got pretty good at handling them. So what you do with a catfish, so it's got 3 barbs. It's got its dorsal barb, and it's thick. So think of a like a needle, and it's very painful if you get poked. And then it had its fins, which had barbs on them as well. So what you do is if you caught a catfish on a line, what you do is you get your hand close to the top of the hook, not the leader, but down by the hook. They don't have teeth, so they're not going to hurt you. Or you grab it if it's loose, and you can get it by the lip. Grab it by the lip.
I used to always grab them by the bottom lip.
Yeah, exactly. So what you do is you hang them, and you actually go at the flippers at the bottom of the fish. You kind of run your finger up the spine a bit, and what'll happen is it goes completely erect, so it doesn't flop anymore. And what it does is it puts its barbs out, and just it's almost like it's paralyzed.
Yeah, it goes stiff.
Yeah, it goes stiff, and you slide your fingers. So your fingers are going to be like this. So you have your 2 barbs, and then your dorsal barb behind your thumb. And once you've got it, you're good. It ain't going anywhere. So you get your hook out of it and toss it in the. We used to have these 23-liter pails, and we'd fill them up with fish, and we bring back 3 or 4.
Jeez, they'd be heavy when they were full.
Well, absolutely. So what we do is there's a cleaning method that's pretty unique to other fish.
Yes.
And it's actually pretty easy to do. You use a fork and a sharp knife. So anyway, we'll talk about that, or I'll gut one for you live. But we would take these, and the only thing we would ask of the neighbors is give us your old newspapers. So we would wrap up these fish, and I remember we'd catch them till about 11 o'clock at night, and then we'd come in. My dad and my mom would have coffee and food on and stuff. It was the thing, it's one of my favorite memories. And so we would clean these fish, wrap them up in newspaper, and first thing in the morning, like we throw them in the deep freeze. First thing in the morning, I'd be going out and hopping on my bike and bringing, fish out to all the neighbors. And that became like, if it was hunting season, there were moose and bear and whatever else, because I lived right next to a trapper, and he had beaver and everything else. But that became the main staple for protein, and we contributed on the fish part, right? So
very cool. It
was a good time.
Well, I like the whole sense of community, right? Like, I've always, I want to say, envied that. I remember as a kid on the farm, almost weekly, it seemed like you would have parties, or the neighbors would get together on Sunday, and either, you'd have a corn roaster. You just get together and socialize. I miss the whole community feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You may not like George, like you understand, right? You know, those uppity guys down the road, George. But you went and you got along. You just, because it's Sunday, we are getting together and we are having our beer or our salmon or whatever, right?
Well, yeah, and those get-togethers, everybody would contribute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Ringo's family had fish. Your family might have chickens. You know, and we might have veggies, and George might have a beer truck, the beer truck. Yeah. So it didn't matter. Everybody got together, and you had a great time. It was community. That's what it was all about.
Yeah, and then we had some oddballs out there, and you know, there was one particular
the skids,
family that,
right?
No. These were like very hardcore hunters, and this one particular family that I knew, you didn't dare go near their hunting grounds because, I mean, you know, there were rumors that people never came back. Yeah. And you know what? Honestly, I've been I can't even many times I've been shot at. I've been hit from being shot, like with a 12 gauge.
The pellets going into the leaves over your head.
No. Well, yeah. So yeah, my cousin and I were in a duck blind, and these guys I knew, we had our decoys out, and they were hunting too early, and they came through the fog and they saw our decoys, and we were right behind the decoys in our duck blind, so they started firing up crazy, and yeah. BB's falling into the duck blind. But no, I got shot one time. Is it okay to say I actually stole something? Yeah, whatever. They can't get me for it. But yeah, we were out. So we would party on the weekends as teenagers, and we'd get hungry, of course, you know, after you smoke a lot of weed. So we'd go out and we'd borrow from the gardens. Everybody had a garden. But this one in particular garden had a like a wire fence in the back, and so we got in okay. And then the owner came to the back porch with a shotgun, and he had salt rock in it. It was not a good day for Ringo.
Stings, eh?
Well, I was the fat kid who couldn't get over the fence quick enough, and so
it burns pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, it does. But and then, you know, just a lot of weird things that happened. And we had again, like, people would come in, whether they were locals or from the island or whatever, and party like crazy on the weekend. You know, so once maybe twice a month, you know, buses would come in, and then buses would go out. But in the meantime, there were a lot of people that would just get batshit wasted and lying all over the streets and stuff. So one morning I'm coming out of I worked for an engineering group, and I was coming out, I worked an all-nighter, and I was coming out in the morning, and this guy was on a park bench, and he had a hunting jacket on, and I guess, I don't know if it was real or not, but it looked like he had a gun in his pocket. And he tried to jack me for my money and my briefcase, I guess. And
nice.
I said, "Listen, pal, go back to sleep," knowing full well I'm walking away, and he's got a gun up my, pointed through his pocket. And all I remember is I had a sports car, a Daytona Shelby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was walking out to the parking lot, and there was a parking lot attendant, and he saw the guy with the gun, and he's like, "Hey, man, I think he's going to shoot you." I said, "Well, duck down." In the booth. But I didn't care, because the guy was so wasted, he would have hit me anyway. But I think back on it, and he's like, yeah, he could have shot me dead. But so I got in my car, and I just ripped right through there, and he just jumped back on the bench. So, but that was Sudbury, right?
Yeah, Sudbury. Yeah. Well, it's funny because we have stories like that too. And I lived in Oshawa because I used to hunt too.
Well, that's a whole level.
Sudbury and Oshawa is just different
Oshawa,
population.
totally different.
Hey,
you know, I hunted waterfowl and migratory birds and stuff, but it was one morning, you know, I got the TV on, I'm having some coffee and shit, and all of a sudden Keisha loses her mind. And she comes running to me and she's crying and she goes, Bambi's dead, Bambi's dead. And I'm going, what the fuck are you talking about? There's no Bambi on TV, whatever. And she's freaking out. And I go, where? And she brought me back to the kitchen. And it's something that she normally never did, but she pushed a chair up to the counter and she went to get a drink of water from the sink. So she looked out the window and the window was up high, so you could see into the neighbor's backyard, and he just shot a deer and he hung it in his back tree.
Ooh, ouch.
So it was splayed open, hanging there. She lost her fucking mind, right? And I had to calm her down and everything, and you know, it was all good after. And then I went over and talked to my neighbor, said, hey, you know, I said, I know you hunt, but don't hang your fucking deer in the tree for the neighbors to see. And I said, my kid's losing her shit in there thinking you killed Bambi. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, right? And then he comes over a couple days later with all his fucking deer meat. He goes, here you put up. I'm sorry.
Here's
Right?
Bambi.
Yeah. Just
My
don't tell your
neighbor-
daughter what it is. Oh my
My
God.
neighbor across the street was a trapper, and so he used to take me on the trap lines. But you go into his garage, and he would have all of these pelts hanging, drying out and stuff, and he was curing them for, you know, to sell pelts. But it was creepy. I mean, he had all kinds of. He wasn't into the taxidermy part, but he would prep them for taxidermists and stuff. So it was, it was kind of creepy.
The Derek just pushed the wrong button and disappeared.
No, he had to run. He's coming back. But the so my neighbor on the other side, which happened to be the trapper's mom, she was this Hungarian lady. Really, she was awesome. But if you didn't know her, you'd think she was a crazy, you know, just really crazy woman. But she could cook like nobody else. And but what she would do is she would, you know, you've heard here's one of the Heikoisms, chicken with their head cut off, right? So what she would do is she had chickens in the backyard. They would kind of run free range and right next to our property. And she would just, if she decided it was chicken night, she would take the chicken, bring it to her chopping block, chop the head off, and then just let the chicken go, run out its, you know, bleed out. And it was the craziest thing ever. And so.
I got a story exactly the same as that. When I was a kid, I was out in the backyard with my dad, and all of a sudden we heard the people right beside us, like behind us. The wife is losing her shit. She's screaming and screaming and screaming. The kid's wailing and freaking out, and the dog's barking, and then you can hear him run. You can hear him yelling and yelling. I'm going, what the fuck's going on there, right? So my dad looks over the fence, and the look on his face was like shock and laughter at the same fucking time, right? And what the neighbor had done is he brought home a live turkey, and now he figured he's going to kill it. So he, like in the movies, he got the hatchet, boom, took the head off. Well, as soon as he did that, it started flailing its wings like crazy. The turkeys are big, right? They'll hurt you with their wings. And now this thing is running around the backyard headless, and blood is just spewing out of the throat, right? And the whole family's losing it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, whoa.
It sounds brutal, but I mean, it's, you know, like, I guess
people used to do it all the time, but this was a newbie. He was inexperienced, so it really went bad for the family. Needless to say, they didn't have turkey dinner.
No, but if you were, you know, back then, it was kind of expected, right? So now we're living in the day where, you know, anything to do with perceived animal cruelty is, and And I have to agree. Some of the processes that they do aren't shouldn't be done anymore. But but food comes to your table from a grocery store, and it's still got to go through a process. But yeah,
It
back then it was
does.
like hands on, cut the head off, and
Yeah.
let's see what happens, right?
And it's people don't understand. There's a lot of animals that we raise that are on planet Earth that their only reason for being here is for humans to consume, right? Whether it be their byproducts like their eggs or their milk or their meat.
Yeah.
And that's it though. That's the only reason why they're here, right?
Yeah, I respect whether it's vegans or just some animal rights activists that.
No, well, you see, the vegans I get, and the vegans are good. They're people that choose themselves. It's not for any other reason. They choose
to be
not to eat meat, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and you're right. They're two different. Like they don't have to be.
But now again, you take that extra step. You have the protesters. Fuck off. You've made your choice.
Yeah.
And that's for you, and it's great with everybody on the planet. But just because you made a different choice doesn't mean you can force it on other people and call other people assholes because you made a choice.
Right. So, like, I grew up, I can clean game, I can do all of that stuff. And I was never squeamish about it. But the one thing that changed my thinking was there was this hobby farm that my mother-in-law owned, and she had 200 goats, a bunch of chickens,
right?
And then there were 3 animals that she had. She had a horse, a cow, a Jersey cow, and a goat, and so it was kind of funny because these were like pets, right? So they were small,
right? Yeah.
And they would follow each other around. They were like the best of friends. Then for whatever reason wasn't there for a while, and so she took the cow and fattened it up in the barn, and that in itself to me is horrible because what they do is in the old way they would, and they still do it today, they contain them so they don't get any exercise and they get overfed. And so imagine so being to me a life is a life. Like I always say, like, if you see a spider, don't kill it, just put it on a piece of paper and put it outside or something. I don't agree with killing for no reason, right? But if you've got to survive, right, and you got to sustain yourself with meat, yeah, then fine, do what you got to do. But when it comes to certain animals and the way that they go about things, like cows, everybody eats beef, blah blah blah, or a lot of people do. But that process of fattening a cow up and then bringing them to a slaughterhouse, that's disturbing to me. And I know I love steak. I had steak earlier tonight, but it's when you think about it, like the act of taking the life of let's say a cow, or that's pretty quick and painless, that part. The painful part, I would think, is that cow being fattened up for that slaughter and having to literally stay in a barn for over a year, right? Yeah. So imagine, like, if you had to do that.
Not too many beef cows are just kept in a barn for a year. Then there are some. There. Don't get me wrong, but the amount of manure that you get over winter, your cows are almost going to be with their backs at the top of the roof in a typical barn.
Yeah,
you're going to have 3 to 4 feet of manure because every day you're putting in this much straw or this much straw. It's getting compacted, so you're going to have to clean it out. Or you're going to have the people who are disgusting and their cows' legs are starting to rot because they're in liquid shit all the time.
Yeah.
And cows are out. But again, there are, like anything, there are the bad ones.
Yeah.
But 99.9% of them are good places.
Yeah. No, you're right about it. It's just that part of the process I think is unavoidable. They have to be,
fattened up and given grain and
Yeah, but see, I don't
get the meat tasting game, right?
I understand what Ringo's saying. Why can't you just leave the cow out in the pasture and let it get big and fat on its own, because they do grow? Why do you have to take this animal and jam it in a barn and lock it up so it can't fucking walk?
Well, right, they're speeding up the process to the
they are. They're getting more meat out of it. They're getting the gamey taste out of it, right? Because you're giving it sugars and stuff, so the meat's getting sweeter. And I won't even say sugar, it's more molasses, right? In your grains that you're mixing.
Well, it's like corn silage, right?
Yep.
That's what they use.
Corn silage ferments, right?
Yeah.
But the process of let's say cleaning the manure, right?
Yep.
So I think the more automated barns, they'd have a trough, because
not so much with beef cows. Dairy cows, yes. Beef cows are usually herded into an area. You're going to have feeders on either side for shelter, right?
Well, no, we had they're
low maintenance.
There were beef.
Summer, you open it up and you feed them outside. You let them run in the pasture.
There were beef cows.
The ones that I know.
Right. Yeah. So there were beef cows. They all had stalls. They're all facing, in the opposite direction. But in behind there was a trough with this mechanical kind of it was like a little paddle, yeah. And then it would go up the air and out the back of the barn. But
that was my job for
all of that wasn't bad. I mean, that's fine. Plus, they got to go out, most of them, to the sort of pasture and everything. But the ones that were brought in and sort of earmarked for food would have to go through this fattening up process. And I like, again, I think regardless of whether it's there's some intelligent life there, that
cows are like dogs.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well, absolutely, they are.
I've grown up with them. They all have a personality. They play games with you. I had 72 cows, like milking cows, right?
Yeah.
We had 37 pens on two sides for milking, and another 15, in front that we put in after. The cows would go to their spot every night.
Yep.
If they were fighting with another cow, they would go into that other cow's stall just to piss them off.
Yeah.
But again, each cow's different. You bend over in front of one and they'll nudge you with their head. They're playing a game. They're knocking you over.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, that, it's there are bits of those processes that, it's, what do you do though? Right. I mean,
but it's like that every, you have
I like
people that follow the rules, people that bend the rules.
Right.
People that don't follow
I like
the
the
rules.
idea of put them out to really healthy pastures, let them, fatten up naturally. And then when it's time, then it's time.
And they're tough meat. And but that we're just getting accustomed to easy meat.
Yeah.
Yes. And economics behind it, right?
And that's why, right? That's why veal was invented.
Yep.
Now you have something that's 9 to 11 months old, and it goes to slaughter. Yes, it's a lot smaller and lighter, but you have really, really nice meat.
Yeah.
So, they made men's for all that. There's different types of meat for different situations.
We should get a production farmer on here some night to talk about this.
Well, it's like my father-in-law that I'm helping. He had cattle all his life, so I learned all this kind of shit from them. Right? It's kind of cool.
Yep. Anyway, I think we're at the.
We're there. I was just about to do that too. Hey, Hike.
What? Do what?
Why don't we put you back on the big screen?
Oh.
Watch, if I put you over here and then do this.
Yeah. And do what? What are you going to do?
No. Didn't do nothing.
Wrong button, buddy. Oh,
there we go.
Holy shit!
That's the
Here,
one.
let me get closer so my head's good and fat. What do you think of that? Hang on. Let me just have a little drinky poo here first. Cheers. Love it. Well, boys, we did awesome again. We haven't had a guest on in a long time. I don't think we need them anymore, do we?
No, they're overrated.
They're overrated. We still have our awesome listeners and viewers. I do have a list here of the viewers that were a part of our show before and after our technical malfunction. So I want to thank last week. I want to thank Sandra, who was the first. Melanie, Joe, Spring, Kathy, Johnny Ringo was on. Keisha, Gigi, Junior, and John. Pretty awesome. That was from 2 weeks ago. And I also like to thank the people that were on this week, which is Deborah, number 1. Kathy, number 2. You know what Johnny Ringo says about that, being number 2. And Deborah, Bobby, Keisha, Junior, Melanie, and Richard. It's awesome having you guys on the show. George, is there anything you'd like to plug maybe before we sign off?
No, not tomorrow. I still don't have a mixer, so hopefully.
Oh, you're still out of equipment, are you?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the new stuff to arrive and the other stuff to come back from the shop. So what can you do?
All right. So nothing from George. How about Duringo? You got anything to say before we sign off?
No, but I did notice Junior.
Duringo.
Yes.
Yes, I mentioned Junior.
Yeah.
All right.
No, but okay. He was talking about I guess he's got Gilby Clark.
Yes. Yes, he did. He mentioned Gilby Clark.
Ex-guitarist of Guns N' Roses.
Yep. That should be pretty good. So I guess
that should be awesome.
So
where are they going to be? On his show?
Yeah, on with Bling, I guess.
And that's what, Friday nights?
I'm not sure. You probably have to.
They got a Wednesday and a Friday is Junior by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think you'd get a celebrity on a Friday night.
Oh, you never know. Right? But anyways, check that out. Go to where do they go? Where do they find Junior stuff?
IndieRock.com.
They're
at Indie Rock. All right. So folks, go to Indie Rock and look for Junior. He's got some great guests on too. Good buddy of ours. And yeah, I also wanted to say, Ringo, the other day I was going down the highway and I saw an army truck just like yours with a big letter C on the hood.
Yeah, there was a fleet of them out on the weekend in 2 different areas. So
maybe this guy was going to join.
Yep, likely. So there was a thing up north, and then there was something down south, I guess.
Nice.
But yeah. So
all right, boys.
Yeah.
That's cool. We should party with the vehicle sometime. Take us out in the bush, and we'll have some hot dogs. We'll join up with the Pine Tree Outdoors boys, and we'll have some fun.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds great. And then we'll invite Mr. 40 Creek from your band. We'll invite him out, Phil. Yeah, have a couple of drinks with him.
Yeah. He's doing well.
All right, guys. Great show again. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for getting through all the technical difficulties, we'll call them. And we'll see everybody here next Monday night at 9:30 right here on the Heikadelic Show. Have a great week, everybody. Cheers. Cheers.
Well, that's another wrap for the Heikadelic Show, folks, so time to get dirty. And don't forget, listen in next week on Monday night and every Monday after that for the Heikadelic Show at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like more information on the Heikadelic Show, please find us at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. We'll see you all next week on the Heikadelic Show. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the Heikadelic Show, it's easy. Just send us an email at info@theheikedelicshow.com. Meanwhile, you can browse our website at www.theheikedelicshow.com thehikadelicshow.com or .ca. Click on our sponsor tab and find out more information on sponsorships. Thanks for joining the Heikadelic Show, fans.